To all the non-believers.
How did that?
To all the non-believers. Especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat.
So how did that just feel?
Felt great. Poetic justice. We know we were a much better team than we came up and represented ourselves. And we were pissed off. We was ready to come back and show us what type of defense, what type of team this was, what kind of character we had. We take a lot of slack. People gave us no chance, like we barely made it in playoffs. We're a good football team.
It looks like this team played with anger all day. Why, Bart?
For all you non-believers, disrespect us, talk crap about the defense like we ain't the third best defense in the league. All we hear is about their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. 25th in the league, and we the one to get disrespected.
Congratulations. See you in Pittsburgh.
Can't wait.
Back to you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Standard. This is your boy, W. Dubois, and this is a special one of a two-part episode. And what makes this so special is just, are we watching some new scandal, and almost the storyline in this is almost remarkable in this situation in the Watson, and we're talking about the Deshaun Watson sexual assault allegations down in Houston. And you know what's so remarkable is about sexual assault allegations and that's what we're going to explain to you in this two-part series. And a lot of you guys know, and I'm going to try to give you some stuff you don't know. And if you do know everything, I'm going to break it down, and you're like, yeah, W, you know exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. So regardless, we're going to get to it. And this all started on Tuesday, March 16th, when lawyer Tony Busby, this man here you see on the left, he filed a lawsuit on behalf of 3 women, all masseuses or massage therapists, claiming that Deshaun Watson violated them sexually in some sort of way. That was on, like I said, Tuesday, March 16th. Those charges were came down publicly. He did that through his Instagram page. And here is one of the Instagram posts from Mr. Tony Busby. Before you guys see it here, before we even get to that, I'm going to say something a little bit about Mr. Busby. Mr. Busby is a high prominent, very flamboyant, well-known local Houston city lawyer. He ran for mayor in 2018. He lost in a runoff by a few percent. You know, he's tried high-profile local civil case. High-profile local is kind of a little bit of a oxymoron, but we'll go with it. He's tried high-profile cases in this Houston area. He's well known down there, and now the rest of the country's getting to know him, as you will in this two-part series. Tony Busby, here he is. I am extremely proud to represent those who have no perceived power against those who have perceived power. Things are changing in this country, in this great state, and in this great city, and I feel like it's for the better for all of us. Today we filed suit against Deshaun Watson. So this is the first of, I believe, 4 lawsuits, which all together equal 22 women. As of Friday, 22 women are a part of injunction with Tony Busby lawsuit against Deshaun Watson for sexual misconduct against these 22 massage therapists. And I feel like things are changing in this country, in this great state, and in this great city, and I feel like it's for the better for all of us. Today we filed suit against Deshaun Watson. Too many times women have put up with the behavior that we all know no one should put up with. Should we make excuses for the famous, or should we hold special positions or quarterbacks on a local professional football team? I think he meant 4 quarterbacks. I don't think so. All people are equal and all deserve dignity and respect. My dad was a butcher. My mother drove my school bus and worked in the snack bar. Knowing what I know now, my mama had more dignity in her pinky finger than most executives or coaches or politicians or famous athletes have in their whole bodies. This case we just filed against Watson isn't about money. It's about dignity and stopping behavior that should be stopped. Now, stay tuned for details. Let me say this. I am a Marine. I am not easily intimidated. If you have info or have been part of this, contact my office. So, this was the first Instagram post he put up. And what was important about this post was, besides him letting you know who he was and making this a bit about himself instead of his victims, he let you know at the end, if you have any info or have been part of this, contact my office. Meaning it was almost like he was advertising for potential victims or alleged victims of Deshaun Watson's alleged sexual misconduct. So he's saying, if Deshaun touched you or if you call me. So the door was wide open as far as Mr. Tony Busby's office was concerned for anyone who wanted to accuse Deshaun Watson or any, especially massage therapists. So after that, as a result, Deshaun Watson had to have a reply, and he did. And like he says in this tweet that he posted, he found out through social media, as did we, about the allegations. And here he is. As a result of social media posts by a publicity-seeking plaintiff's lawyer, I recently became aware of a lawsuit that has apparently been filed against me. I have not yet seen the complaint, but I know this. I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect. The plaintiff's lawyer claims that this isn't about money, but before filing suit, he made a baseless figure settlement demand, which I quickly rejected. Unlike him, this isn't about money for me. It's about clearing my name, and I look forward to doing that. And that was Deshaun Watson on the night of Tuesday, March 16th, the day that the allegations against him, the lawsuit against him came down. Deshaun Watson said he was approached prior to the lawsuit, and he was offered a settlement, and he turned it down. So here we are, 22 women 3 days later. And this is the second post by Mr. Busby, where he said him and associate Cornelia and I filed the second of what is now 4 cases on behalf of women against Deshaun Watson today. This was the next day, by the way. The case is alleged assault. We won't share the alleged details here, and we won't try the case in the press, but the cases are publicly filed for all to see. I appreciate the calls of support that we receive from those who support these brave women. It takes a lot of guts to stand up to the powerful when you are perceived powerless. Since filing the first case yesterday, I have had several death threats and multiple people have harassed my children. Okay, Mr. Busby. The blame the victim or her lawyer's mentality is alive and well. I love football as much as the next person, although I have never been a Texans fan, and he lets us know that, and we're going to let you know the significance of that in part 2, if you don't already know. But and then continue on. But I don't love it that much. It makes me shake my head that people are so passionate about football to the point of irrationality, while at the same time they could care less who the mayor or president will be. So that was Mr. Busby's post announcing that he had filed the second of 4 lawsuits, and I believe this lawsuit only had 1 person in it. So the first one had 3, the second one had 1, so he had 4 at that point. And at that point, they tacked on 5 more. They tacked on 5 more. I was right. They tacked on 5 more to make a total of 9, and that was by Thursday, January 18th. And in the third lawsuit, okay, according to according to one of the lawsuits, Watson had inappropriate contact with a massage therapist, allegedly touching her with his private parts or his penis. Another lawsuit states that Watson sent the plaintiff a direct message to meet him, which gave me a little more details. The therapist reportedly left the room and then later returned to find the quarterback on the table, lying on his stomach with a small towel covering his rear. Midway through the massage, he allegedly rolled over and got more aggressive, forcefully telling her to remove her hand down to his private pubic area. The therapist said she felt intimidated and threatened and was afraid of what someone like Watson can do if she did not submit to his demands. After allegedly telling the masseuse that he could help or hurt her career, the therapist said Watson tried to force her to perform oral sex for him, to which she did not consent. Interesting. So there was a little bit of the a little details in some of the complaints made against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, All-Pro quarterback, a man whose name has been in a lot of trade rumors. His name's never been anything like this. This is a man who was known to give houses away. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not possible that he could be a sexual deviant, because, you know, most times we're not going to know if someone's a sexual deviant. It's not like they're just going to put it in a newspaper ad or they're going to announce it to us on Instagram like Tony Busby announces all of these lawsuits. And speaking of Tony Busby, here he is again, talking about the third lawsuit of now 6 to be filed against, of 6, meaning the third lawsuit, 6 people in it, against Deshaun Watson alleging assault. This one is the most egregious to date. Again, I won't share details here, but we have open courts in our Texas Constitution, meaning all lawsuits are public record. Our staff has received numerous calls. We screen each one, and I personally talk with and screen any individual on whose behalf we file. So once again, when we stop here, Mr. Busby I showed you guys on the other Instagram post where he let them know, and he gave you the how to reach him if you felt like Deshaun Watson violated you. So anyone who came across Deshaun Watson and they could prove that they were with him was pretty much eligible to file a complaint against him, as far as Mr. Busby was concerned. I've been doing this for quite a long time. I don't need fame, and to be quite honest, I say this as modestly as I can. If I never made another penny, I would be quite okay. Point is, I'm not pursuing these cases for the money, and every woman who has filed thus far has only pleaded the minimum amount to invoke the court's jurisdiction, which is $500. This isn't about the money. And to be clear, I've had many high-profile cases in my life. I've represented a sitting governor when he faced life in prison. I've represented widows, orphans, amputees, and those horribly burned or injured. He really likes to talk about himself. As lead, I handle many mass torts and class actions recovering hundreds of millions of dollars. I've tried and won some of the largest cases in Texas history. But I will say I've never faced the nastiness and vitriol I've experienced in this case. People are crazy, threatening my kids, people I know, threatening my fiance, telling me they will kill me or they hope I die, all because of football. Get a grip. Yet we won't be deterred or intimidated by keyboard warriors. As a recon Marine, I've seen danger. I'm not at all concerned by dumb shits with the keyboard, ha ha ha. I'll continue to proudly represent those who are written off and marginalized in our society. These cases are exactly why many of us become lawyers. Tony Busby, man, he's really, I wasn't kidding. Was I kidding? When we spoke about, Deshaun Watson, the whole case about his style. Very flamboyant lawyer. And this Deshaun Watson saga is not going to go anywhere, and I won't leave it alone, because it's a very very intriguing, remarkable to me, especially with the attention the public's given it social media wise, and we're going to cover that in episode 2 or in part 2 of this episode of The Standard. It's very interesting because of the different dynamics and angles of it, and we're covering Mr. Busby here originally in the beginning. This is the first person we're going to cover, let you know who he is. Because to me, he was the least known person thus far. That, I know who the McNairs are, and we're going to talk about the McNairs later. Of course, I know Deshaun Watson, and but Tony Busby, he has women representing him. He's representing these women, and it's tough, because if Deshaun Watson did any of these things, having 22 women just come up that you recruited off of Instagram, that means some of them are going to be bullshit. And if any of them are proven to be bullshit, it's going to hurt the ones that he possibly did things to. So I just think this whole method is really about making Tony Busby more prominent, more high, well known. And, of course, that'll bring in money. So he knows what he's doing. He's very intelligent. He's using social media to his best of his ability, like so many YouTubers are and Instagrammers are and everyone else, all the other EERs. So I can't knock it. I just, for one, see what he's doing, and this is a court of law, and this is also someone's life and reputation. No matter what happens when this is over, even if Deshaun Watson is exonerated, this will always be there. You know, that it will never go away. So, regardless, he says he wants to clear his name. He's going to have to do a great job of that. And he's going to use this man, a man named Rusty Harden, a man who's represented Roger Clemens and Warren Moon and other high-profile athletes and celebrities in the Houston area in civil lawsuits. So here's his statement. As you see, I'm extremely proud to represent Deshaun Watson and wholly stand behind him against what we believe are meritless allegations. However, we'll wait to comment in detail until we've completed our review of the numerous evolving allegations from Mr. Busby. So now, once again, you have these two heavyweight lawyers. They will spar, and that is another angle to this story. It's so many, you know, we have, you know, we have 22 alleged sexual assault victims. So that's a big deal in itself. You know, the times we're living in with sexual assault cases being more outed and more complaints being made with the Me Too movement and the Believe All Women movement and all these other things that were not around 30 years ago, where women were were taken advantage of. But also, this creates an opportunity for grifters and scammers and liars and con artists to ride to piggyback, so to speak, real victims of sexual assault, and they can call up a Mr. Busby and hook up with him, and they can join this pretty much, which is almost like a class action lawsuit against Deshaun Watson, $150 million athlete. You know, this is a quick $20,000. All I gotta do is call Mr. Busby up and say Deshaun touched me with his prick, and I'm in there. So, Mr. Busby said that he had some text messages that were damning against Mr. Watson, and here are some of them. Watson, the purple are from the victim. I can do Swedish deep tissue sports massage. I know Houston is so big. I moved here from Wisconsin. I'm still getting used to it. And Watson replies, I'm more of a Swedish guy. Are you working tomorrow? I do a lot of Swedish, and yes, I am. And then Watson asks, are you comfortable with the glute area? The glute area meaning his butt cheeks. And Swedish and all of that stuff is just getting inside the real deep parts of the groin area and the cheeks and all everything else in your underpants. So I didn't really see the damningness in that. So here we go. Here's another. As you can see in the original post, he said he will provide multiple texts and copies of the lawsuit, and that we have filed a date. Thanks for your support. And now here we are with the next day, and here's some texts he says were damning, and after the person says they're here, later on he texts, sorry about you feeling uncomfortable. Never were the intentions. Let me know if you want to work in the future. My apology. So Watson apologized for making her feel uncomfortable. Well, you know, to me, which is not damning at all. I mean, it means he did something that she didn't like, but maybe his feet could have been stinking. That would make me feel uncomfortable if your feet stink and I was around you, especially if I had to touch you and give you a massage. So who knows what that means? Mr. Busby said he had damning evidence, but once again, Mr. Busby can be very loud. So at that point, that's going to pretty much conclude part one as far as the slides go. So, you know, what have we learned from this? We know that Monday... Oh, am I kidding you guys? No, it's not the end of this. Who am I tripping, yo? I have a little bit of Mr. Busby. You can hear him out.
Against Deshaun Watson for civil assault. And you should all know that before we filed the first lawsuit, I personally visited with the plaintiff multiple times. I understood that this case would generate a lot of interest. I wanted to make damn sure that what she was saying was plausible, was right and true. And I was convinced
Friday, March
after visiting her
19th, press
that she was
conference.
telling the absolute truth. And to be quite honest, she's a very brave person. Very brave person. Her story certainly passes the smell test. She is brave and truthful. Of course, when she told me the story about what had happened to her, I like many of you, I wondered, why would someone like Deshaun Watson, who probably has access to 40 or 50 trainers, masseuses and the like, why would he reach out to individuals on Instagram? And that's a question that maybe you should ask him or his lawyer.
Very interesting. Mr. Buzzby, a little bit of his 45-minute press conference on Monday. In that same press conference, Mr. Busby said that he had got in touch with police and because there was a lot of accusations and finger pointing as why have criminal charges have not been filed, Mr. Busby? Everyone's asking, you have all of these civil complaints, where are the criminal charges? Why isn't Deshaun in cuffs if all he did is all these people? This is ridiculous. It looks like a money grab. So the pressure, Mr. Busby said he talked to the police, but the Houston police let out this tweet. At this time, HPD is unaware of any contact between HPD and Houston attorney Tony Busby regarding the allegations contained in his recently filed lawsuit, and no incident reports regarding these allegations have been filed in our jurisdiction. So, Mr. Busby says he's talked to the cops. Cop says he doesn't talk to them. Big mouth again, foot in his mouth, whatever. I just don't understand. I don't know, man. I'm not a woman, so I can't say. But this guy's not the guy. I think I can say that from my perspective. This loudmouth dude is not the best guy to have for this kind of case. Mr. Busby, he had a retort, of course, and he sent us this screenshot of his text messages. He always has to prove something. He said he doesn't care about the keyboard warriors and the internet, but he always has to prove and shoot down whatever. So he sends this text screenshot of someone named Detective, and they say to him, "Hey Tony, I read about your lawsuit with Watson. Do your clients need a criminal investigation done on these incidents?" And he says, "Looks like I will have 9 clients total. I intended to have each do affidavits and then file normal charges or criminal charges, or formal, I guess, formal charges. Okay, let me know if I can help you get you to the right people. Thank you, I will for sure." So Busby says, HBD for whatever reason claims now that I haven't had contact with me regarding the Deshaun Watson situation. I guess technically they are correct. The truth is, a detective I know reached out to me, and I've made clear that with my clients, that when my clients are ready, we will submit a package to the police. Competence, HPD. This guy's something else. All right. That's crazy. So, right. So what have we learned from this? That's going to, by the way, that wraps up part 1 of 2. We're going to have the second part of the problem in Houston, standard. I can't wait to bring it, putting it together. I'm going to send this to the lab and get this right. So now, it's just to me, I've talked a lot about Tony Busby. I want to let you know who I am. I didn't want to make him, I know you could tell by my tone who I believe. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson is innocent. I don't know that. I don't know what he did with these women, but I don't think 22 women, or they're 22 or 22. I know that's not for sure. After he puts out an Instagram post pretty much inviting anyone to file claim against him, he says as long as he believes them, he screened them, he was going to file a civil complaint. And he did that with 22 women. So how many of them are they going to get a civil complaint to do? Or, a criminal complaint to do? And he says he's going to do that on Monday, the 22nd. We're going to see if he does that. They're going to try to get Mr. Watson in cuffs. This has gone from 0 to 100 so quickly, from a man who was just one of the hottest commodities in the league as far as trade demands. He demanded a trade from the Houston Texans. And that's what this part 2 is going to be about, the demands he made to Houston, to the McNairs. and the Tony Busby and all of that other stuff that you guys might or might not know. But we're gonna get into very in depth, more in depth than anyone else. It's just interesting to me. I don't trust the lawyer. If that was, my family, or, if it was me who was sexually assaulted, I wouldn't want a big shot dude like him repping me, like a big mouth dude like him repping me, man. He jumps out, he says he talked to the cops, and he says, oh, my bad, I talked to my detective friend. Come on, you know the difference, bro. So I don't know, I don't trust this guy. The first couple of women, all right, cool. But the last 10 or 7 or 4, the one he just started recruiting, because it went from 9 to 22 from Thursday to Friday. I showed you those 3 lawsuits, a little bit each of them, where I didn't show you the lawsuit, but I showed you Instagram posts where he announced them. The lawsuits, I'm going to put the links in the description box so you can see for yourself. You know how we do on the standard? It's pretty raw, it's uncut, but it's going to be factual, and that's how we rocking. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to try to jump on a Your Morning Cup, but I'm all into this one too. I'm over on Epis. I'm going to put you where I be at. Let's get it. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Comment. Thank you to everyone who checks me out. The standard is back. We're not. They treat us like we're the worst defense in the league, yo. They can't stop a nosebleed. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all next time, man. See you on the standard.